guys are impossible to race with. Impossible. But they cannot do the stars like this, you know. You cannot go into the corners crashing with other cars.
charismatic French bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and he'll be saying, woof, 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 woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
Their usual thing and going tits up. But we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here. And we're only on lap 1.
Not too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vert Wheeler here. But Vert Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny." And she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. And this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? Morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 3. Can you believe it? Round 3 of this KRL season number 6. And tonight we're coming to you from the Nurburgring. Nurburgring GP, of course, not the longer version, which was released also on console. That's I know Chuck Norris is out there with his superior PC powers, but also on console as well. But it is the shorter version, of course, the GP layout tonight, and with all the corners that this track has, 12 of them in fact, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But time to introduce the KRL commentary team as we see the poll in there. Thank you, Hainsey. He says, all aboard the struggle bus. And I said, don't be like that, Hainsey, as how are we all doing tonight? As we welcome the man from Carrum Downs himself, Jason Wilkinson. I Name escaped me there for a second as he's just come back from sailing the high seas. We'll go. Good evening to you.
Yeah, we had a quick little sail about half an hour ago. I drove over I think it might have been an explosive barrel and put holes in the ship, and we decided at 7:30 we better jump off and and get ready for some commentary. But yeah, we are for round 3. Here we are. Can't wait. GT2's got a few. Got Andrew who's racing tonight, which is good. He's our GT3 leader at the moment. But Simon and Matt are nowhere to be seen.
No, I saw that Matt declined my invitation earlier in the week, and I was absolutely devastated with that. And no Simon as well, as we'll get to the championship tables. I think he's leading by 50 points, but there are 300 points up for grabs tonight. So he is missing, of course, round 3. There's Andrelli with all of his graphics and other bits and pieces that he does so well. And there goes Nick to the top of the timing sheets. Split qualifying again. But before we go any further with that, as Nick getting a little bit out of shape there, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce this man. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he sleeps with a nightlight on, but not because he's afraid of the dark. It's because the dark is afraid of him. I speak of none other than Chuck Norris. Welcome to you.
Back another GT2 round 3 of the championship. I feel like this championship is going really quickly. But back with GT2s, we just want to touch on as well. We had an exciting announcement last night that was not expected by I think anybody. The Ford GT3, the Mustang, got released for free on the PC. Audio for it is a bit mixed up, but looking forward to that coming out to the consoles. But nonetheless, though, we're back for another KRL week.
Cannot wait for that. And yeah, we were trying to get pictures of that, weren't we? And we were trying to get some video footage of that car getting released. That was a nice surprise there. Hainesy's joined us, 56.6. He says, bloody hell. This, of course, is a split quali format, 22-minute session, first 10 for the Pro-Ams and Am drivers only. And when the timer hits 12, you need to finish your lap and return to the pits. Timer hits 10. Then it's time for the pro drivers to do their quali laps. That gives the other drivers a chance to finish their laps, doesn't it, Wilco, and get into the pits in time for the pro drivers to get out and do their laps for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we sort of introduced this format in the last round season, and a lot of people liked it because it not only means that there's not as many cars on track at the time. So at the moment we have 18. We've got 20 cars on track at the moment compared to before 28. So it means that the tracks it's not as busy, but it also means that these pro-am guys and the am guys, they sort of get their own sort of screen time and not focus on the top of the leaderboard with these pro boys because they are very quick. So yeah, it gives everyone a bit of a chance to throw down a time, get up on the leaderboard, and then they get to sit back and watch the big boys come out and see where their time stacks after the 10-minute session of each class.
Yes, fantastic. Give some airtime to the sponsors for these boys. Don't we absolutely love it as we take a look at Jimbo Jones there as I just seem to have something going on with the lighting here in my commentary box. But here comes Jimbo around the final corner now. That is a very quick time, isn't it? A 56.6, very close at the top of the sheets there. Here comes Jimbo across the line. And where's he going to put? He might be starting another lap here, I reckon. But let's have a look here. 56.6 for Nick Vibesy. 2/10 or so, or just under 2/10 behind him. Sideways Polka matching there. Ernie Drongo in his class. And yes, please give us any feedback you've got. As you can see, they're updated on Wilco's mic, whether it's cutting in. And please let us know, and we can fix it up. Hopefully, it isn't cutting out anymore. As we get a bit emotional here, Matt Simmons has joined us. That's right, it is the Matt Simmons, for anyone wondering. He says, no porky pies, Chuck Norris, and that is dreadful, isn't it, without having any porksters at all here in the GT2 tonight?
Yeah, so In all seriousness though, I'm not surprised that we don't actually have any porkers. The GT2 porkers are very, very interesting to drive. They feel very unnatural compared to the rest of the class. So yeah, I do understand why a lot more people are leaning towards Maserati, KTM and the Merc. They definitely are upwards of the fastest and better feeling GT2 cars in my opinion.
But of course, last week Matt was in that Porsche and he didn't get pole. So
He
if you
did.
can, you can drive it and get on top of the grid there. But yeah, no Matt tonight, which means no Porsche.
Yes, no Matt, no Porsche, no Matt, no Trev no Trev, happy something, but you can see there, missing you, Matt, and missing Simon as well. It's dreadful that Simon's not here either, but no. Yes! And there we go. Oh, look at me go. 16 months, Kid Murray. And who's that? Kid by Murray and Voodoo just subscribing there. And boy, he wants to keep his name at the top of the Maxi Blade my chat leaderboard there, doesn't he? But great work there from the Chuck Norris. A sideways polka here, Chuck Norris, to the top of the sheets. But look how close it is. 56 sixes all round here.
Yeah, this is very, very impressive. Very quick times from our Pro-Am so far, but the whole way through the grid, though, all the way down, it's very, very close. So a fraction of a tenth, or even just a tenth, might even boost you up 2 or 3 positions.
As Nick across
Qualifying over, so this is going to be that Nick's got these last car to start of that, or Spawn runs wide at the last corner and costs himself a bit of time. So let's go through some drivers. We've got Andrelli, where is he? P4 at the moment. He's going to be one of our big boys. We've got Vibes, he got on the line too, but we'll go on board with Andrelli and he goes through the last corner.
Let's have a look here. Very close for Pro-Am times, like last week, it says the great Matt Simmons there. And let's have a look at Andrelli. Speaking of great people, across the
Match
line.
P6.
P6, yep. We'll go to match in that as Water Arrow says, yo. And a big shout out to you, Water Arrow, who has a sub there, looking at that K emoji there. Matching, has he got that wrong there? Wilco coming out of the final corner. We'll wait and see his time. But
Should maybe jump up. There he goes, up to P3.
up to
Who we got next? Car 111. Where is that? That's Chipperton. He's made a mistake, and then
yep.
Jimbo just behind him in P13. I think he's the second last car. Oh, Jimmy.
Ooh, Jimbo, Tokyo style
That's
there.
But he doesn't improve, so he's third in class, and Nick again. Oh no, so 7-7. Oh, Mr. Beaky. Mr. Beaky down in P20.
Let's have a look at Mr. Beaky swimming between the flags here. It looks like coming through the final corner, and let's see whether he can improve on this time. Currently 3.3 seconds off of the pace.
Back to Nick. Nick's the last car across the line. Can he take back pole position on
There
the
we
last
go.
lap?
This is the question. It all comes down to this. Here comes Nick. He needs a tenth of a second. He will take even 0.68 as he comes across, as he slowed down.
56.7 he did that lap. So he just missed out. But let's jump on board with these pro boys. Who's the first? Hainsey's the first car to cross to get on track.
And here comes Hainsey. Matchin was pushing, says Matt Simmons, 2015 GT Academy champion. Absolute superstar. Pleasure to have him along as always. Big fan, of course. I'm just not going to lie. NGL. As we take a look at Hainsey here coming out onto this circuit, you can see the drivers there. The 12 corners this track, of course. And the Mercedes Arena. The Hatchin, Backen, Bocken, Guten Morgan curbs there in the Dunlop curbs, and the Schumacher S at turns 9 and 10. Just don't say a thing, Wilco. Don't say a word. But the Mercedes Arena, the Castrol corner, the Vidal.
Professional tonight.
Very professional. The Vidal chicane there, 14 and 15. Who could?
Let's call it the Voodoo chicane.
The Voodoo. Let's call it the Voodoo chicane. And boy, there was a fantastic
Just
move.
be professional as he renames the classic.
There was
classic track names.
There was a
It was like
fantastic.
renaming that one corner at Spa that we called the Gooch because we couldn't remember what it was called.
There we, as we take a look, I think they're just on their warm-up laps here, aren't they? The potato. Oh no! Oh, there we go. I read before I actually look at the words. It sounds weird, doesn't it? But let's go, the pro boys, says Matt Simmons. Cute. Is that Hank? I think he's got a Hank emoji there. And the potato S's, and go Hainsey. And let's have a look. The Voodoo Chicane turns 14 and 15, but we're not quite there yet, are we? Schumacher S's as we're getting ready. Now we're coming up to that Voodoo Chicane. There was a great move there years ago with Schumacher and Alesi for the lead of the race many years back, and about 200,000 Germans. And there we go, back in the day when there was a German Grand Prix, and back in the day when people actually used to turn up to it. So there we go, 8 minutes left. We're taking a look at the pro guys, and early tips. Jason, who are you thinking? If you had to go and put a bet on for pole position, it's got to be Hainsey's got to be a chance, doesn't he, surely?
Yeah, Hainsey, but I reckon Noodles has done it. Mr. Noodles, he doesn't have Simon there fighting him for pole. No Matt as well, so I think Noodles could have the edge on some of these boys. Andrew, of course, is our GT3. Oh, I've had too many. Big dinner is just coming up to get me. But yeah, Andrew is our GT3 championship leader at the moment, so he's jumped in to jump for the GT2s tonight. He messaged me about 7:15, asking if he's all good to jump in, and I said, of course. So I'm not sure how much practice he's got under his belt, so this will be a little test for him, but he's in that KTM, which we know is very quick in the corners, and not so quick on the straight, so we'll see. I was actually looking at the top speeds earlier, so going up to the Merc was in like 268, sorry, 258, 260 around there. And the KTM was down at like 248, 249, so it's about 10 k's difference. So we'll see. The Maserati was about 250. The Merc was definitely a lot faster. So if Wilsar can be up there and on the front row of the grid, he could be very hard to pass.
So let's have a look. Hainsey now coming up to turns 14 and 15.
He's on an invalid lap, by the way, so you might want to drop to Noodles.
We'll go to Noodles, 2-minute Noodles now, coming up to the Voodoo Chicane at turns 14 and 15. Coming up to the final corner now, of course, Hainsey invalidating his lap, and how good is that? Noodles is Matt Simmons' pick for pole position, and I have a feeling he's going to jump right to the top of the timing sheets. The 156 just. And who else are we looking at here? Hainsey now. No, he's someone awesome. What's he going to do across the line? Will start at the top with a 56.4, if you don't mind. And who else have we got coming through here? And Beaky.
That's it. There's only a couple pros tonight, so there's only the 6 of them.
And Beaky says, "Good evening, gentlemen. A short view back to the past. Years ago," and thank you, Beaky. And I said, matching Andrew for pole position, and I said that looks like Hank, the Hank emoji, and Matt Simmons saying it is, and he said he had Hank emotes made when he used to stream. Well, I'd love to get some. He used to stream. I'd sign up for that if I'd be throwing throwing the subs and VIP badges around like absolute crazy. But we'll have to. We are in the market, aren't we, Chuck Norris, for some new emotes actually. So we might get a Hank emoji, and I don't know why, but it just came to me in a dream one night that we need to get a Jason Wilkinson emoji too. With
just do George Russell then.
With a look at you go type sort of speech bubble or something. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But evening, gents, and Trev.
I know you're dreaming about me though, Trev.
Yes, Sea of Thieves got me the other night. That's for sure. But that's a Noodles for pole, says Matt Simmons. Let's have a look at Hainsey. Let's get serious with this, folks. Oh, look at that. He's using every piece of the track, and then even pieces that aren't included into the track layout itself. And yes, as he comes across the line there, oh, what's that going to be? And that is nothing there, is it really? Boy, that was not good. As let's take a look there Rain of Fire, evening, gents.
Cloquet.
And I'll get to these comments in a moment. Let's have a look. Noodles are having another crack at it. Oh, look, Cloquet to the top.
Yeah,
And,
so he's on a good lap here. Sorry, he was on a good lap. But someone I'm actually impressed with at the moment, someone awesome. He has the GT3, because as we said, he's got the number 1 on because he's the reigning champ for the GT3s.
I got fastest lap too.
So he's
Look at you go.
Show him so far.
Great stuff as Maxi Naked Blade joins in. And big hello to you, Rain of Fire, as well. He says, evening, gents. And Trev, oh, I'm so funny. And then he goes on to say, jokes, love you, Trev, right back at you. You might even get a reply if you play your cards right in these DMs. But add too many. I've had too many. I've had a little bit of a couple of scotches there too. But hey guys, look forward to watching after the race. And
he's P23 lining up on the grid.
And wow, there we go. And add too many. And that is the trick of the trade in this business. If you do a lot of talking, Scotch can be your friend. Oh, Noodle's running a little bit wide there. And Wilco emoji. What's going on there, says Matt Simmons. And oh yeah, Cloquet, says Maxi Naked Blade, out there in Queensland on his smoko break. Great to have you with us. And Simon Bishop, oh my goodness, all the stars have come out to play here in the chat. Go Will Star in the Merc, says Simon, and who I miss very dearly. And I'm sure he says, hello friend to Matt Simmons, but you're actually my friend as well. And Noodles across the line. And whereabouts has he improved? A 55.7! Get the fire extinguisher out, because he's on fire there, Chuck Norris. And he needs to be extinguished. How quick was that?
That's an insane lap time. I don't actually think I was expecting to see the 55s in the GT2s, so quite possibly GT3s tomorrow night. We might actually see the 54s creep in there, so very impressive lap there by Noodles.
And Noodles has done it, says Matthew Simmons. As can you believe it? We have, look at the quality in the chat here. This is incredible. It's a shame not to have them out on the circuit, but they are with us on our stream. And Jimbo there. Oh, Team Radio. Oh, it's just Jimbo doing it. I'm only kidding. But we've got a minute to go in qualifying there, you cheeky little ragamuffin. As we've got a minute to go down to the Dunlop curb. And can Cloquet, is Cloquet on a scintillating lap here? Chuck Norris,
I can't see his sector times, but if you hit drive, you might be able to.
Oh yeah, but that does all sorts of other funny business.
Don't do it then.
No, we won't.
Call it like he's on a purple lap.
And what have I done now? I need to return to sender. And there we go, Cloquet. Glad to have all the legends in the chat, says the Beakster. Had footy training. My bad, says Rain of Fire. No, don't be upset that you went to footy training. Just be glad that you're going to make the stream, if you know what I'm trying to say. But 100% Noodles representing BCG for the night, doing the job at the moment. It's hard to see who is going to beat him until this man. And they might get
This could be a decent lap here by Cloquet.
He might get another run here, will he? 7 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3. Let's have a look. Can he go quicker again? Oh, he's
he
missed.
Does. He's on one lap. He's on his flying lap now.
He's on a flying lap now. Who else is coming across?
Let's go. Will Star has just gone through. I think Will Star. He's on one lap. Will and Cloquet made it. Someone awesome is done. He's in P4. Andrew's done. Haynes. He's on a lap, so he'll be our first card across the line. Okay, it's done. So, I mean, again, under half a tenth there. So that's close there. But yeah, Hainsey needs a big lap here. He's 1 point off of the. He's in down in P12. So we'll see Hainsey, and then we'll flick to Will for that last sector.
We'll have a look at Hainsey, then we'll go to Will and all the other superstars. You're the legend, Beaky, says Matt Simmons to Beaky. And big Simon Bishop there. Hope you packed your woolies for warmth and pleasure. That's interesting. Yeah, thank you for that, Simon Bishop there. And they know how to get me in, don't they? Simply Lovely. And that sounds like Max Simply Lovely, GP. And only pleasure if I was seeing you. Wow, I'm going to stay right out of that. but or do I? Okay, and Hainsey there coming up to whatever corner this is. Of course, it is the Cumyo curve as and then it's a bit curve and then the Hunchback. The Hunchback as turn 13. Oh! And that. Wow.
He's made his KTM into a GT4.
He's just gone straight off the track there, and I can't do anything because the controls are locked. I can't see anything. And subscribe, Exorcist. How good is that, Exo? As we take a look at Hainsey there, a little bit worse for wear, but Exo has subscribed to a Tier 1, subbed for 6 months, so he's in his second trimester, I think. Although I've never been pregnant, so I'm not too sure. But how was Max? The Max comment from the GP on the weekend, and that's great.
Reminded me of that Gino guy, the Italian chef.
Yes.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a biker.
If it had ham in it, it would be a carbonara. If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a biker. And thank you, Gino. And don't you love Gino's Italian escape? He's just... So there we go. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god.
Gino, forget about Gino's grandmother having wheels and being a bike, because we've just been hit with the Maxi Naked Blade Smoko Tier 1 subs. Oh Jesus, it's going off. And I know that my daughter's trying to get to sleep, but look at this, they're coming from everywhere. 5 Tier 1 subs to the kit buyers community and a level 2 hype train just like that, Chuck. Oh my goodness, they're coming in everywhere again. Why do I make those alerts so loud in my headphones? It's Nismo! I'm going to pelt you with a few of these, eh? And that is Nismo talking there, of course, the boss of Boom Corp Esports. The boss has joined us too, Chuck. Where do we look at the moment with these hype train alerts coming in? And if we get a few more of them, we might get to a level 3, which I've never ever seen before.
Yeah, and I've just realised what someone else was talking about. That was because I was testing out the Nords.
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
Last week, and I forgot to change that short formation lap back. So, cold tyres going into turn 1. Holy
and
shit.
Nismo, yes, I'm going to get you with a few of the bits. He's come in with the bits, and not the shirts, the bits. And there we go, add to many, score, says, what about Maxi Naked Blade? And boy, oh, Team Radio. Oh no, there's a run on the sound effects. Oh, it's so loud. I'm not kidding. Oh my god, my eardrums. As there we go. Don't get too...
We'll try and sort that out for you now, Trev.
Don't get too excited there, because I do have the ultimate power of getting rid of those. But at least we have the glory of Trevor and his motley
I got
crew.
fastest lap too.
I'm hearing myself, but I can't return to the garage.
Look at you go.
We'll know what's happening there.
Yeah, you cooked the goose, so you're going to have to just wait for the green flag.
Oh God!
And there we go. Those sound effects are loud. I do apologise, but we might have a look at that. Very true. Always makes it fun, says Matt Simmons. And don't you love on the streams when Matt's driving how I just say, let's pick a driver at random. But it's between you and me and the garden post. It's really not random at all. It's because I always pick Matt. That's the joke there. But yes, and what's happening now, Voodoo? I've lost my bearings here a bit.
Matt redeemed the commentary cam. That's what happened.
And has he now? He's redeemed the comment. Let me just get a little bit in respectable here, as the commentary cam is.
Shirt gets put back on.
As there we go.
Shrine in the background gets pushed to the side.
Look at that! I just put my superhero shirt on for Matt Simmons out there, and see that? No glasses. And that's thank you to Dr. Chan and the Dr. Metternich down there in Richmond at Epworth. Fantastic. There we go. Superhero.
Going straight in my face.
It's going straight in my face.
Come on, boys. Hopefully we can everyone get through on cold tyres, get through this first lap, but it's not looking... Oh no, that's positive thoughts, positive vibes, people. Come on.
I am a superhero father, that's for sure. And there we go, as I'm not sure whether we have a formation lap or not. Do we have
It's a short one, so we're going straight into it.
We're going straight into that.
So literally on GT2s, you come out on cold tyres. Like literally your tyres are dark blue. So these boys are going to have no grip going into the first corner. So hopefully they can. Oh god, they're already going for the cars still through the last corner. But here we go, 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 go.
Here we go. It is go for the start of round 3 of this GT2 Kid Buyers Racing League season, and they all stream down into turn 1. My goodness, hold your breath. This looks intense for everybody out there. And you can see there that Hainsey, for some reason we're locked on Hainsey, but Noodles there right at the front of the field in P1. And it seems, for the time being at least, Chuck, that they've all got away cleanly from what I can see on my very small track map here on lap 1.
Yeah, it does look like everyone's gotten off to a nice start there. Sorry, I'm just kind of adjusting your audio levels for your sound effects there, Trev. But now it looks like everyone's gotten off to a nice clean start, although no formation lap to warm the tyres up. Looks like they've all been nice and sensible, and they're all allowing each other to have that room and that time just to get them up to temp. But these battles are definitely going to be ensuing quite soon, I think.
And 10 seconds to go on the hype train. Got to bounce, lads. Thank you, Simon Bishop. He says, probably see you tomorrow. Well, I hope you do. I'll take the better part of a lap to get them up to spec, says the boss himself, of course. But look at this, hype train completed at a level 2, 6 subs at 20 bits. And let's just share those emojis there. And choo-choo the train. Holy Scheisenhausen. What about that first corner, says Matt Simmons. And the audio levels, you are a superhero, says Superhero Dad, says Matt Simmons. But getting back to this race, Noodles with a good lead early on here, Jason, as we come through the Hatson Backs corner, heading to the Voodoo chicane for the first time. Noodles doing very nicely indeed in that KTM. Then it's Maserati, and Will Star as well. Look at this as they all get through cleanly. I think everybody has got away. Shipperton at the back, I didn't see what he got involved in, Jason, but he is well down the field as we end the first lap, and it's Noodles. And the quickest lap there, Will Star. It's going down the field, of course, only lap 1 though. And a big shout out to everybody watching there. I can turn those sound effects down, Chuck Norris, if I need to. And what is happening there, Noodles? Is something else happening further down the field, Chuck? I mean, Jason, who are you?
Spawn just got dumped on the front straight. I'm not sure he's going to have a lot of damage. I don't know how people crash on a straight, but it just happened in front of my eyeball, so I'm not sure what happened. That's not great, so I'll save the replay of that and we'll discuss this after the race.
Yes, we'll talk about it later. And Spawn not quite having protection as usual there, but we'll have a look at that later on. But Noodles, Chuck Norris, if you're in my sound effects, do you mind just... There's a whole bunch of new sound effects in there. Someone's got to work, and I think it's Chuck Norris. I'm looking at you. But all sound effects audio has been halved. Thank you, Chuck Norris. Noodles checking out at the front. That's exactly what I was about to say, because Chuck, he is checking out, Chuck.
Yeah, Noodle's absolutely checking out here. He's been dominant over the course of this series. He's been the only real competitor, I feel like, to kind of compete with Psydog. Obviously, Psydog's not out here tonight, unfortunately. So Noodle's kind of left to roam the track by himself up the front here. But hopefully, Cloquet and someone awesome might be able to claw up there. But Will Star, though, provisional fastest lap of the race.
Provisionally means nothing, because we are only 4 minutes in the race. And Water Arrow says very, very good. Still loud. I can take them down on this end if I need to, Chuck. And we might just redeem. It's new on the sound effects. It's just because I updated them. And I can turn them down on this end, but we better not worry about that, because Cloquet now 1.1 seconds behind our race leader. Don't discount this man out. And thank you to Matt Simmons and Rain of Fire for the feedback. We love each and every one of you, and we'll be sending you all out a special Christmas hamper.
No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so
What the hell am I going on about? Will Star now in 4th. Cloquet nicks the fastest lap back as we take a look at the championship there, which completely covers your screen and anything you were able to see previously. We are missing Psydog, so Noodles can cash in here, Jason, if he wins this race and takes home a handy haul of points.
Yeah, he can, and at the moment he's looking quite good. Mr. Simon, unfortunately wasn't able to race tonight, so he's got some catch-up for the remainder.
As we take a look at Matchin there, who else is a Distinct Andrew? Ooh, have you seen the start of his race? Is he stuck behind Hainsey here? And
He's actually, I've been watching all down the back of the field, so I did see what happened with Spawn. So Shawnee Fuller made a little mistake in the last corner. I guess he missed his brake point and ended up almost cutting the sort of pit outside line there and hit side by side with Spawn. He then was trying to redress as I got down the front straight, and yeah, it was sort of 3 cars. It was Sean, Spawn, and Jimbo were sort of there, and yeah, Spawn sort of just got sort of bumped left and right and ended up getting turned by Sean as he was trying to redress. But as I've been looking at that, I've realised Hainsey's gone up from P13 up to P6, so he's had a ripper start.
great start from Hainsey though, but not a good feeling when you got this man behind you. Distinct Andrew, of course, very, very quick, no matter what you put him in. Last minute entry by the looks of it says Matthew Simmons and Nismo there. Oh, Andrew is through, Jason, I think. Is he, by the looks of it?
Yeah, it's a nice move. Very
Great
nice
move there. At the Castrol S, and then the Mercedes Arena turns 2, 3, 4, and would you believe it, 5 before turn 6 coming up. But didn't realise Andrew was here. I thought he was only doing the GT3 season, so the boss not even aware that his employee is there.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. As I said, Andrew messaged me about 7:15, so yeah, it would have been half hour before practice was meant to start, and asked if he can race if there's a spot free. I said of course, and here he is running P6 at the moment.
P6 for him. Let's get back to the front, lap 3 of this race. About, 3 laps in at the moment. Noodles, he was checking out at the front, but now Cloquet in the Maserati, keeping him honest there. It's down to less than a second now. And you can see there going through your screen, Will Star as well. Someone awesome, doing very, very nicely indeed. There's someone awesome. Will Star, Matchin, leading his class, if you don't mind. There we go, just testing audio levels, so please hold off for now. And that is from Chuck Norris over there in Adelaide. So we'll get back to him in a moment. But Distinct Andrew looking very racy as he always does. Hainsey now. Oh, and Andrew has spun at the entrance to the pit lane, Wilco.
On the right.
So, did he just get on the grass or something there and lost the rear
I
end?
didn't see. I was watching another battle, but it looks like he's slotting back in nicely.
Oh, he's
hit the
and
inside
he's
wall there.
zigged instead of zagged, and he's hit the inside wall there again, and I think he might have almost taken someone with him, but it was at low speed, I think, as
Right.
I can turn those down. Just let me know. But Vibesy, sorry, we're just talking to the producer there, and which is me. But anyway, Ernie Drongo there, leading his class, being very impressed with this man's work over recent times. Got to go, gentlemen. Enjoy the night, and go Noodles for BCG. Cook the rear tyres, says Rona 5. But Matt Simmons just bidding us farewell. Goodbye, Matt Simmons, Pat, Hank, and everybody else in the Simmons household. Great to have you with us. And I think you've met Matt Simmons in real life, apparently, Jason. Is that true?
No, I haven't.
So,
I don't know.
I thought you visited him on his birthday and jumped into his rig and all sorts of things. Or am I thinking of
That was
someone?
Albert, mate.
Oh,
How dare you? How dare you?
How can-
Getting your previous favourite in Albert mixed up with your new favourite, Matt.
And there we
To jump on Matt's sim rig. I didn't sort of make sure I had a sim rig in between there, but yeah, I'd love to catch up for a bevy with Matt.
And
See how that happens.
I tell you what, it's going to happen one day, and we're going to be there to take pictures for our Instagram accounts. Because thank you, Matt Simmons. Great to have you with us. And just getting everybody's rigs and birthdays mixed up here. It's terrible. Once you turn 30, it's no fun, let me tell you. But never let the truth get in the way of a good story. says Nismo Nath, the boss of Hooncorp Esports. And a big shout out to everybody as, am I a failure? No, you're not. And I can tell you that here and now. Evening everyone, how are you all? And I've managed to translate that message. You young people with your text messaging.
Clocade's right on back of Noodles.
Clocade is right on the back of Noodles and has the fastest lap. I reckon he's going to stir up these 2-minute Noodles here. Chuck Norris, if you can hear us, just blink 3 times, but I won't be able to see you. But as Clocade there, as you can see, Clocade all up in Noodles' business here. And is he going to have a crack down at the Dunlop curb here, Jason?
Someone awesome is actually going with them too. So, as I said, someone he's had a pretty rough start to the season 6. He's defending the championship sort of season. He's had a rough start, but at the moment he's beautifully in P3. And hopefully these boys, first and second, have a nice battle. And someone awesome could take the chocolates.
And just don't
see the straight line speed here of this Maserati going up to the Voodoo chicane.
And you can see here that the straight line speed, as Wilco's mentioned, is going to be a factor here as he gets a good exit here. He'll be in business.
Noodles got a better exit.
And Noodles getting a better exit, so he's going to pull away here. But it'll still be close, I reckon. Clocade, can he get in behind him and get some of that slipstream? I don't think it's going to get done through the Voodoo chicane, as just going through there. I think that's the sort of slightly more opened up version of that chicane. But who else is battling down the field?
Noodles could, I reckon Clocade could get him into turn 1 here. It's very close.
Let's wait and see. Just like that, it's lap 6 of this race. We've travelled 12 minutes with 48 minutes to go. And you can see they're down into turn 1. And as I can't hear that coming through at all, but Clocade very, very close here. Not a known passing opportunity, though, is it, into the Mercedes arena, Wilco? I guess he's going to line him up more for the Dunlop curve down at turn 8, I reckon. Might be his best chance into the hairpin.
Yeah, a lot of these left, right, lefts, the only thing you can really do is just try and force the car ahead to sort of defend and nothing really. You can sort of just change their line a little bit and hope you can capitalise on the exit when you get onto the faster stuff. But at the moment, Noodles, of course, your driver, he's dealing with the pressure beautifully, but of course there's still 47 minutes to go. So one little mistake, getting especially through this section here, because if Clocade is pretty much within a tenth or two, I reckon you can have him down into the chicane, because that Maserati's got a couple of Ks extra, plus the slipstream, which should not even be 6 or 7 Ks faster on the straight. So Noodles just has to make sure he keeps getting his exit, which is this corner here they're going into now. If he can keep getting his exit beautifully done, he should be able to hold it.
And advice from a multiple champion. There we have it, Nismo saying, righto, it's the fiance's birthday tomorrow, so I probably ought to prepare myself, prepare the bits and pieces for her. Thank you for your bits as well. Go Hainsey, but also go get him Noodles. Yeah, I can hear that, that's fine. All good. And cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't leave, we will miss you. I may lurk in the background. You never know that I am here. And that is spoken like a true management style there. No, he's there, but you might not know whether he's there. I tell you what, Noodles reckons he knows that Clocade's there, that's for sure. And these two now dropping someone awesome by a couple of seconds,
yeah,
Wilco.
Will's picked up on someone awesome, so Will's all over him.
But Will, we've got a battle for first and second, third and fourth. Will is all over, literally all over the back of this Maserati, the number 1. And boy, he looks to have the pace, doesn't he, Wilco, here against someone awesome, but just where he can get the move done.
Yeah, I'm just watching Jimbo and Andrew just cutting his way back through the field, but what was the battle? Looking at Clocade and then Will start. I think Will should have an extra couple Ks faster going down the main straights there, so he should get through. But Ernie Drummond's driving P8, which is very nicely done. Jimbo's P2 in the Amcon, should be just behind Andrew now? Yes, he is. They got Beaky P3 at the moment in the M class. So Beaky, Exorcist, Chipperton, Add Too Many, and Team Little Bear round out the AM class with JJ Norms, who had a poly there, down in P26.
And JJ Norms, of course, not taking part in quali, and that played out throughout the course of the week, of course, so he did get a qualifying ban. One mandatory pit stop for fuel, minimum of 25 seconds. Optional extras include 5 seconds for tyres. And the prediction is up as we'll get back to Will. Oh, here he comes indeed, and you can see there, if he doesn't get him here, he's going to get him down into turn 1 as they come onto the start-finish straight there. Prediction is up. And who will pit first, Noodles or Clocaid? Gamble responsibly. Think of what you could be gambling with. And 10 minutes remaining, so get your predictions in. Will Star down the inside. Look at this. Box office stuff here down into turn 1. Will Star down the inside, taking a title line. Someone awesome. He's done the crisscross applesauce here. Will go, and now he's looking to go on the outside, but I think Will Star's got him covered comfortably there on this occasion.
Yeah, so Will had the inside with that left-hander there, and someone else just didn't have the grip to get around the outside, but he does have a lot of... that Merc doesn't like coming out of corners. It doesn't really like going into corners either, so it's all about that right foot that he's managing there, Will Star, but he's through. Someone Awesome's trying everything he can, but might be better off just slotting him into behind, and hopefully Will can drag someone else onto that front too.
Let's have a look. Distinct Andrew there, well down the field. He's just behind Sideways Polka. We saw him there just struggling a bit towards the end of the lap a few minutes back, but 43 minutes to go. And a big hello to everybody out there watching. Jimbo is second in his class. There he is on your screen, and Beaky swimming between the flags there, but he's got Exo for company. And this is a spicy little battle here, Chuck Norris, if you're out there in the Adelaide Hills and can hear me and get reception out there. Beaky and the Exorcist, two great lads, having a ding-dong, if you don't mind, Donkey Kong style.
Yeah, this is what we love to see. So just a quick friendly reminder as well. We've got our drivers bracketed out into different classes. This is just so that they know that they're competing for not only a win in their class, but also so that they know who they're actually, racing against in terms of pace. So the white background that you'll see behind the car number, that symbolises that they're a pro. The silver background represents Pro-Am, and the red background represents our AM drivers. So Beaky and Exorcist are representing our AM drivers. Jimbo currently leading AM, but these guys having a right old battle, which is what we love to see amongst our AM.
And 18 minutes into this race, this is heating up. Look at this. Audi and Mercedes, two famous German manufacturers going hammer and tongs in the land of the German. And you can see their Nurburgring GP layout. And the sun is setting here in Germany. 25 degrees track, optimum track conditions 25, air temperature. So same there, no real wind to speak of here in the Deutschland. But Beaky holding his own there at the moment. It looks like Nick into the pits. Well, is this early, Jason, do we think? Is this for some
He's got
other
some
reason?
damage. I can see the back of his diffuser is, the black diffuser's looking like the top of his car, very silver and scuffed. So I'm not sure if he had an incident. But it's early, but it might not be too bad because it's only 10 minutes earlier than it's only 4 or 5 minutes earlier than what everyone else is going to be doing. So if he can get a bit of an undercut, he might benefit from that.
So it's not all bad there. Saint Sim, he's been into the pits. Spawn as well. We saw that a little bit earlier on. JJ, who missed qualifying, of course, because of a quali ban. He's there in the KTM, doing not too bad. So far, so good. And you can see Chipperton, Team Little Bear. And great racing, says Rain of Fire. How good is it? Prediction is up. Who will pit first, Noodles or Clocaid? Gamble responsibly. And you can see there 5 minutes to go. And Nick now into the pits and out of the pits. Exo and Beaky still battling it out. And there's a yellow flag for the Chipster. And he's off the circuit there. And that's unfortunate for him as he lost a place. I think he has, hasn't he? There. But so that's bad for him. He's been in the wars. Add Too Many, who's currently P5, I beg your pardon, in his class. And Team Little Bear add to many, like we said, Exo and Beaky still going at it. And Jimbo Jones there, we could be talking, as he had a bit of a moment there coming through that final corner. Wow, that's interesting there. And Distinct Andrew, he's in a bit of traffic. He's got Stewie Wilson. And you can see there now trying to carve his way through the traffic. And he's hit Shawnee Fuller. And both of them have ended up in the wall at turn 1. So it's going from bad to worse for Distinct Andrew. And the Hooncorp man is not having a good night, Wilco.
No, he might be regretting his choice to jump on it. But I'm sure in that BMW tomorrow night he'll be back up the pointy end. But who knows? Let's see where he can end up finishing. So what is he? He's behind Jimbo again. So he's in P18. And so let's see where he finishes up the next 39 minutes.
You got a feel for Shawnee Fuller too, who's got a lot of damage to the front of that Mercedes, and he's been hit again, and now he's off, bouncing around, bang, crash. And I think it was Jackie Prez there getting stuck into him, and boy, he has been, he's taken plenty of hits indeed. You can see there he's back onto the circuit, but he's got to, I think this damage is going to be too much. I think we might see him coming into the pits there.
He can't turn right.
And on a circuit.
Yeah, that's game, set, match.
And on a circuit which is clockwise, Wilco, that's not great at all, is it? As he's off to the side of the track there, and you got a feel for him. We've been on board for about 30 seconds, and he's been hit around like a pinball wizard, and now he's just, yellow flags are waving. I'm not sure what the German word for disappointment is, but if there is a word for it, I'm sure that that's what he'll be saying in his helmet right now, because he is out of this race, and as the sun sets here in the land of the Germans, he won't be happy with that. But look at this battle at the front. Wilco, 0.4 of a second. These two racing each other here. And this is what really gets my juices flowing, is who's going to come into the pits first? Who will pit first? Get your predictions in. Noodles or Clocaid? And if you're a gambling man responsibly, Jason, who would you have your little kid coins on here?
Well, I don't gamble at all, but anyway, I'll put $3,000 on, or 3,000 kid coins on Clocaid to pit first. So, spoken by a true non-gambler.
No, just think of what you could be gambling with. This is the man who's got a 28-leg multi on Friday night footy. Well, I just need Dacos to get
26 of them.
just need Dacos to get one more handball here, and then we're home. And 37 minutes till we are home. Get your predictions in and gamble responsibly. Don't chase your losses. Just bet double or nothing like I did last week with Sidorg. No, just joking. It is a serious issue, isn't it? And never really had a punt myself many years ago. Made the mistake of trying to get Nico Hulkenberg into the points a few years back and didn't quite work. But anyway, as who knows, if he gets to Audi, he might get that elusive podium. But Clocaid is... And Clocaid then right behind Noodles. Is he just sitting pretty here and sitting back? And as I'll just put that on silent. But Will Star there in third. Someone awesome. Are these drivers just sitting back? Chuck, are they waiting to see what their other competitors do in front of them just before they make a pit stop? Is that what they're doing, Chuck? If I could get into your brains and pick your brains out, can you tell us what's going through their mind?
Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. So the front runners, in my opinion, I feel like the overcut is going to benefit more around Nurburgring, purely based on how abrasive it is on the tyres around here, and especially with, you know, where everybody is based on the track. If you try and go for that undercut, you'll probably find yourself amongst some of our AM drivers that will like to pit quite late. So yeah, I feel like the overcut is definitely going to pay off here, but you know, we'll kind of see. We're almost in my favourite 10-minute pit window, which starts at 35 minutes remaining.
And that is coming up very shortly. Thank you, multiple KRL champion. And predictions are now closed. Hope you got your votes in for your famous kid coins. Shout out to Maxi Naked Blade EXO for the sub, and the Nigerian prince himself who got into my subsection, and now he is equal first with Jason. And boy, we smashed our goal of subs, didn't we? That's terrific. But Cloquet now through the voodoo chicane.
Cloquet into the pits.
And
what a good man.
What a good man that is. No sleazy match-fixing Salim Malik action going on here, because looks like bets are paying out. 65% for Cloquet and 35 for Noodles. Is that just going for the man behind the leader? I wonder in those predictions. But Cloquet in, and someone awesome is in the pits as well. Careful, fellas. Get those speedometers down to 50-odd kilometres. And they pass a very stationary looking Wilco there. As you can see, someone awesome into the pits. He missed his box. What's he doing there? Interesting as he comes into the pits. That's not very exciting, is it? But Noodles continues on. Willstar now in second. Cloquet, someone awesome in the pits, and Matchin as well. A little bit further down there, but leading his class nonetheless. Vibesy behind him in second. And then Hainsey, is he coming back? Chuck Norris here? Have we seen the last of Hainsey? I don't think so, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's not really too far behind Vibesy. Obviously, they're two separate classes, Hainsey being in Pro and Vibesy being in Pro-Am. So yeah, Hainsey slowly chipping away, but P7 so far doing really, really well.
And great work there. And you can see that Hainsey just improving ever so slightly. We'll keep an eye on that pit lane action. And this man leading his class as well, Ernie Drongo. And there he is, leading his class. Andrelli as well. Now this man is one of the favourites. Not that we should have favourites, but he's having a good race here. Third in his class. He's more than a pretty face, isn't he? And he's more than a Photoshop man. He is absolutely flying at the moment, Chuck. Is there anything this man can't do? As you can see, Crago putting pressure on him here.
Yeah, Andrelli, obviously our graphics man, he does everything that you see on the screen, from, you know, our track overviews to, you know, our intros, all that kind of good stuff. Andrelli's the man behind the magic there, and, you know, he's also a man behind the magic with the wheel at the moment, trying to fend off Crago as he's trying to get past these guys, battling it out for the third step on the Pro-Am leaderboard at the moment as he dives into pit lane.
He certainly did, and big shout out for the track preview, which I don't think I used tonight. We'll just keep that quiet, won't we? As Andrelli's into the pit lane, and
we'll double that up tomorrow.
We'll double or nothing tomorrow. We'll play it twice as 30-something minutes remaining. And get your comments coming in. What are you getting all shy for out there? Because if you're out there watching and you haven't followed already, we need to get to 350 followers before Voodoo does. And he gets up on all hours of the Adelaide night and stalks the Twitch page that he runs. V is for Voodoo. Give yourself a shout out. Why not, Chuck? Why not bloody give yourself a shout out? Might as well get to 350. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what you want. Just say it. As 31 and a half minutes he does. And you just got to click that little love heart icon at the top and express your love for the Nigerian prince who's alongside me in the commentary box here, and get him to 350. Get him to 350 first, if you don't mind. And there we go, lap 14. And then it's...
You stuck in the washing machine too? I'm stuck in the washing machine.
Sounds like either a washing machine or my or the printer out there. But 5 seconds now back to Willstar, and that is Voodoo in the washing machine on a hot cycle, because Matchin here is in P3, P1 in his class, I should say. Vibesy as well, but we've got a bit of pit lane action, a bit of pit lane, and is Willstar coming in? He certainly is. Just like Robbo off AFL 360, who's spitting out his T's and his S's. Well, oh, g'day, Jared. Oh, g'day, Jared. Hello, Robbo. How are you, Robbo? I'm good, Jared. Bottle of red wine, Jared. Yes! as Am I a Failure is now following. That is absolutely fantastic. 349 followers to the channel. If we get to 350, Jason,
We're halfway through, not over yet.
Thank you, Chris. There we go. Just reminding us that we are halfway through. We need like a Chris Gale emoji or something, don't we? And then we can flash it up on the screen. I'll tell you what, just speaking of flashing things up on the screen, this is going to just blow everybody's mind here. Look at this. This is the QR code with thanks to Andrelli. And if you scan it with your phone, no, you won't be able to scan it with your phone if you're watching on your phone because you're watching
Take a screenshot.
the screen. Yes, take a screenshot of that. And that is the QR code to get involved, Jason, in this championship.
Yeah, Andrelli, again, as I say to him all the time, he is an absolute legend. And yeah, now you can see his QR code that's on the screen covering up the whole racing. But, no, well done to Andrelli. That's pretty cool having a QR code. We can start floating around. And also, too, as my epilepsy starts kicking off. Thanks, Trev.
That's all right. You cut out there as well. But anyway, thanks for the feedback. As Noodles into the pits, and he's into the pit lane. The strategy of this race is just remarkable. Thank you, Jared. And I'm gonna need a little bit of work that one, but it's getting there, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I didn't know who you're going for.
Well, it sounds good from in here, but Noodles said, as Noodles into the pits, in all seriousness, Machin as well following him in, and so is, wow, Hainsey tripping out there with his ping, but Machin in the pits, through goes Hainsey, and Am I a Failure has now followed, which gets us to 349 followers, and I Discord, or you can use the link above if you don't want to use the QR code, which covers the whole screen, of course. I went to expand it, and it just expanded all over my screen.
Just quickly, this is the crucial moment here. So Noodle is going to come out on cold tyres, and he's just leaving pit lane now, but here comes Cloquet. So Cloquet's going to have warm tyres, so he needs to attack in just two laps, really.
Let's have a look.
Noodles has jumped in by a mile.
And, well, that's a bit of an anti-climax there because he's well and truly down the road. Wow, I was expecting that to be a lot closer there, Wilco. But obviously the pit crew there has done wonders there for him. And look at that, 27 minutes to go now. So where are the battles here towards the end, Wilco? 16 laps vibes, he's still out there.
Andrew's battling he just jumped up to P5, but he's going to go side by side up through the market.
With the big Jizz Liddell, look at this, big Gazza Liddell. And this is a spicy little tantalising, slow-cooked pork shoulder here, wrapped up in a quesadilla, and had those for morning tea. They were terrific. But Distinct Andrew here is right up behind the big Gaz man, as he's more affectionately known to his mates. And let me tell you, this is going to get worse before it gets better for Big Gaz, who's got somebody else ahead of him there. It might be Mayo. As
Norm.
no, I beg your pardon, JJ Norms still carrying on then. So we've got 26 minutes to go, getting right to the business end. And Distinct Andrew's been in the wars. Of course, he's doing something with the GT7, and I think, who's that in the pits? Is that Big Gaz in the pits? I think it is, Chuck. But now Andrew and JJ having a little side-by-side action here onto the main straight as we go into lap 17. I think he's got the move done, Wilco. He is through.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy move because JJ was a lap down. That's her whole issue. Yeah, just spice on the race a little bit. But let's have a look here. Who is battling? Got Stu and Little Bear are having a nice little battle. They're pretty good race. Other than that, most of the boys are sort of spread out until these last couple.
Oh, and Stu, that is very close with Team Little Bear. And you can see there, I think he might have even made contact with Running Bear, who loved Little White Dove with a love bigger than the sky, of course. And And there you have it. I won't sing that song, but that goes back a long, long time ago. As you can see, there's Stewie Wilson coming up to the Voodoo chicane and disposing there of Team Little Bear. Like, well, he's just completely gone past him there, as you can see.
Little Bear got out and lifted off the throttle there, I think.
Bit of a lift there from lifting Little Bear. There you can see as Exo. We've got Exo here behind. Exo jumping in with the sub, don't forget, as well, but got the hype train going, didn't he, early on? But 24 minutes remaining in this one. Beaky right behind him. And he is saving lives out there on the beach, but that looks like is it Jackie who's got himself into some mischief tonight, but he is behind Mayo there on the circuit at least. Add to many. Down there as well, JJ, we know all about his qualifying ban. Chipperton, been in the wars, and Spawn, who's well down the field, but he got into trouble early, Jason, didn't he? And just hasn't quite recovered this evening.
Yeah, he went a lap down and pitted into lap 2, so into lap 3. So, yeah, he's had a long race on these tyres. He had probably a minute or two of damage too, so he's still sticking out. He's still getting to get some points, got 30 points, so he's still going to collect some points. Of course, he is in the Pro-Am class, was in the Am, which was a miscommunication by both of us. But he did actually want to cycle in the Pro-Am class. So, of course, yeah, not an ideal start for him, but he did have some pretty good results so far.
That is absolutely fantastic. And let me tell you, we've got some more channel predictions up. Will Cloquet keep the purple lap at the end of the race? Yes or no? Gamble responsibly. You know all that, you don't cops. But let me tell you, the Team Little Bear is the only man in human history in this race to not pit now. Distinct Andrew, and who am I kidding? Hainsey is keeping on chugging along there as well with 23 minutes left in this race. And Cloquet, can he keep that quickest lap? That is the question. And get your predictions in now, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got 20 or so minutes left. Grandstand finish coming up. Not too much else happening out there. We've got Beaky and Jackie going at it, but that's about the closest I think we've got Chuck Norris here. And Beaky will be looking to swim between those flags here as he comes up behind Jackie.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Beaky's doing really, really well in my opinion. You know, he's been carrying a lot of speed. He's been getting really, really good over the last few months that we've had the privilege of watching him. And, you know, this season he's kind of branching out, doing something a little bit different. And, you know, he's bringing out those life-saving colours, which we love to see. But one thing I want to kind of touch on that we spoke about a little bit earlier, Trev and Wilco, was the pit stop. You know how we gambled whether the overcut or the undercut would pay off. I believe Cloquet was leading the race when he came into pit lane. If he wasn't, he was right behind Noodles.
Yeah, just behind Noodles.
When he came in. The undercut doesn't seem to have paid off because he did lose like 3.5 seconds, I think it was, when he came out of pit lane compared to Noodles going for the overcut. So the overcut did actually pay out here.
Yeah, so it could have been because you come out on cold tyres, and watching Cloquet come into pit lane, I think he left a little bit on pit entry, so he really slowed up before us. It probably would have stood there. So it might have been his first little run into pit lane for a while. But yeah, I guess being able to pump out the KTM because it's a lighter car, probably a little bit better on tyres. And as Hainsey just comes out of pits, I don't think Hainsey took tyres, because I watched him went up with 21 minutes 54 to go and dropped with 21 minutes 30 to go. So Hainsey hasn't taken tyres, so let's see where that let's see once everyone's sorted through the first sector. He could be up in, or would that be P6 I think, or P7. P7.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how it turns out there. Noodles leads this race in his class. And Distinct Andrew, they're well down in 13th on track at least. You can see there, Cloquet still with the quickest lap of this race. You can see just under 2 minutes on the prediction. Get your predictions in. And where are these people tonight? Chuck, what's going on? A dozen or so there. Numbers a little down tonight, but must be washing their hair or something. But we've got 20 minutes left in this race. And you can see there that it's still plenty to play for here. Not done by any stretch, but there's all these annoying little gaps here, Chuck Norris. except for Craigie O.
Beaky off the last corner.
And Beaky has had a moment, we believe. And it looks just, it's a strange... I really shouldn't get taken in by Beaky's liveries here, Jason, but it really does look like a Gold Coast Suns clash strip, doesn't it, that car?
Yeah, it does. It's a Gold Coast player swimming between the flags while having a paddock of ice cream.
Yeah, there we go. All of the above. And we love Wilco. Just gives you those multiple choices and then says, no, this is what we're doing. But Team Little Bear into the pit lane there for Running Bear, and he's back out again. Oh, someone awesome getting busy on the inside of turn one. It's a funny pit exit there, Chuck. I'd love to get your experience with it, because if the drivers who are sort of coming out of the pit lane aren't too careful, you can get a real nose cut off moment there, can't you, going into turn one?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's a bit of an interesting one. So, obviously, Nord's just released on the console, and there is a couple of different things around this circuit compared to the layout of Nord's. So not only is the T1 and 2 completely different here, but also that final chicane that we're calling the Voodoo chicane, there is actually a yellow sausage strip in there. It's completely, those are the only two real different spots compared to the track. So some of these drivers might have been spending quite a bit of time driving Nords, learning it, having a bit of fun on a new track. And, you know, sometimes that can catch you out a little bit with the differences.
That is the man himself. Plenty of experience from that man. And, of course, our man Chuck Norris, who he doesn't sleep, does he, Jason? He doesn't sleep, he waits, that's for sure. But 18 minutes remaining in this one.
But
But
a couple battles starting to...
Ooh, hello, Stewie. And sorry there, Wilco, I cut across you there. Have we got Craigo having a battle with Mayonnaise here?
And Ernie Drongo just behind.
Well, this is looking very nice. Mayonnaise and Craigo, yeah. And he loves it when I do that. And Ernie Drongo, been a while. Thank you, Craigo. And Ernie Drongo leading his class, but he is really punching above his weight. He's so far high up the order, he's going to get a nosebleed here. But this Drongo man is doing very nicely, Chuck.
Yeah, definitely doing really, really well. And, you know, we've got to keep in mind, he's actually classed as an AM driver. And he's having a really, really good run. So Jimbo was our provisional AM leader a little while ago before the pit cycle came in. So Ernie is definitely pushing the pace here. He's actually competing quite well with the Pro-Am guys. So maybe we might need to think about a bit of a promotion.
He's getting a bump next week. Don't worry. Around next week.
Straight to Pro, Ernie. Off you go.
Oh, hey, Bert. As Bert and Ernie, there we go. 8 line. This man stays up for 24 to 48 hours of time, and I was about to say he's not lying. He's like a 7-Eleven our man Chuck Norris. You can go inside and get a donut anytime you like. It's, you know those 7-Eleven donuts, but that sounded a bit weird, doesn't it? Anyway, inside joke. If you see some of the gifts floating around, you'll know what I mean. But anyway, Ernie Drongo here coming down to the Dunlop curb at turn 8. He'll be looking for a promotion next time around. Wish I could get a promotion at my job. Been there 15 years. If you're out there, whoever my manager is at the moment, I don't know. I don't exist on the system. I'm a ghost to these people. But Craig is right up behind Mayonnaise at the moment, and he'll be looking to spread himself far and wide with Harvey and that Audi there. That is the highest running Audi, Chuck. So we haven't seen much love for the Audi, but it is possible to do some good things if you are driving an Audi around this German circuit.
Yeah, 100%, you know, and a lot of the cars as well, you know, it's very skill dependent. You know, if you've got the pace, if you put the time into working on the car, you can kind of extract that time lap after lap and stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting. You know, it was kind of like our comments earlier with Matt running the Porker. You know, I said it's a bit of a weird car to drive, but you know, we did take pole position last week in round 2. So, you know, it just goes to show equal machinery. It just depends on whose hands it's in.
Yes, Nico Rosberg won the 2016 Formula One Championship, didn't he? In equal machinery, and boy, we know all about that. And geez, Wilco, how upset were you? Remember Malaysia there when Lewis's engine went? Oh no!
Oh, I was devastated. Absolutely devastated. Didn't Ricardo end up? Did he win the race?
Yeah.
Rosberg, I can't know. Was it? I can't remember. 2016.
Yeah, 2016 Malaysia. Yep, that was Ricardo, I believe. One of his
him
8.
and Max had a really good battle.
Yes, one of his 8 wins in Formula One for Daniel Ricciardo. Did pretty well, didn't he, in Miami?
On the Saturday, and then he checked out. He caught an early flight Sunday morning and forgot the race.
Yep, I know how that feels. My co-op teammate left me in Miami as well. So there we go. I tell you what, just watching Arava's video there, by the way, I cannot wait to pre-order that game. And some of the comments there, it's like, blink if you're in trouble, Arava. And boy, they got this bro at gunpoint there. But Matchin is all over. Enough about that.
Oh, here comes Will. Here comes Will Star. Will Star from P2.
Oh, Will down the inside of Cloquet there. And look at this. That's a livery we all approve of. I think that looks fantastic, doesn't it? But the Mercedes there. And this sequence of corners heading into the Mercedes arena part of the lap. This just provides us with fantastic opportunities, Chuck, for good, tight, intense, close racing, doesn't it? Because you got right, left, and you can do the old switcheroo, crisscross applesauce, and that just, I think Willstar's got this done, but you can see there, great work there from Willstar, and you've really got to work together, don't you, through that sequence of corners, Chuck, so you don't come together as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the run down into T1 as well, it is downhill, so naturally you are going to be carrying a little bit more speed even under braking. So, you know, making sure that you do brake on the right time so that you don't overshoot the corner and cut off the person that you're trying to get past is definitely ideal, but, you know, couldn't quite get the over and under done there. So Cloquet has to file in behind Willstar, but great battle there. Matchin though, on the back of Vibesy, this is a battle that I've been watching on the boards for a little bit now, so this one's definitely heating up.
This is heating up here, very close indeed. Almost leaving his braking a little bit late there, but closing up on Vibesy here. And Vibesy in the 64 Mercedes here, 13 seconds. This is for the class win, of course, isn't it too, Wilco? All over the jacket potato curbs there, you can see. As they talk about heating up, I'll be back. Tenders are calling me. There's those sweet chili ones that are extra crispy and extra crunchy, but good luck to you, Voodoo, there. But Matchin for class victory, like I said, Wilco with Vibesy here, but Vibesy holding his own very nicely, putting that Merc in the right spot.
Yeah, Vibesy's a bit of a KRL legend. Well, for instance, at the start of our up the fronts, P5 overall, he'll be absolutely ecstatic, but you will know it's still 11 minutes to go. Matchin's on his big rear wing Mercedes, but luckily, as we were saying earlier in the night, the Mercedes has some legs, so he should be able to keep Matchin behind.
As you can see there on your screen, that battle is continuing. Only 11 minutes and some change left in this one. Round 3 of a new season, season number 6. And Vibesy, KRL legend, of course, been around for a long time, all the way back to our first ever streams back in 2018 and 2019. And boy, the numbers have just exploded, haven't they? Wilco, you were there with me on that first night when I couldn't get the camera angles right. And welcome to a new era of streaming here. We've got 6 people racing and 1 person watching on YouTube. And it's me. And it's just me. I'm a one-man band at the moment, and Rob haven't even been born yet. As 10 minutes to go in this race, Matchin and Vibesy vibing very well, and I tell you what, I might have played 11 hours of Sea of Thieves, but you can tell he wants some of that booty here, Wilco.
Yeah, exactly right. He what's that treasure? He lift that anchor and go for it.
And that's right, lift up his anchor and go for it. He's not going to get a move done here, though. I tell you what, he'll be harpooning him back to the ship now as he's down the inside. He's harpooned him down the inside, but now Vibesy. Ooh, could he have just gone back down the inside there? I wonder.
Here we go. He's got some straight line speed, though. Here we go.
Straight line speed. A Mercedes at the Nurburgring. Of course, it's just meant to be, isn't it? And you can see there, but Machin's got him covered there, Chuck Norris. And boy, let me tell you, Vibesy wasn't harpooning him on that occasion.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Vibesy unfortunately couldn't go under the booty there, but you know, there's still just under 10 minutes on the clock to keep going. Ripperton getting out of the way. Let's see if we move down the inside here.
Down the inside, Vibesy. This man won't be invited to his guild, will he? Down the inside into turn one. Machin holds it down the inside, holds it for the time being, but I reckon Vibesy wants a piece of the inside. And you can see there, not quite a door to go through there, Chuck. There was sort of the structure there of a door, but certainly not enough room to get through on that occasion. But Vibesy's still in with a chance here if he just sticks with him as we head to this next corner here. And let's have a look there. 6 and 7 coming around now. Inside 10 minutes here to go, racing here. Of 10 minutes of action, I should say, left. And there's plenty of, there's some close battles down the field. I void the bet due to 100% being on one of the two options. Points have been returned. And points bet there, gamble responsibly, whoever placed a bet. And is anybody alive out there, Chuck? That's what I'm wondering. I feel like I've been deserted on an island or something like Tom Hanks.
Get your vote seat for driver of the day.
Nobody really out there tonight. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe they're all off playing Sea of Thieves or something, but I'm not really sure where they are. But you can see there we haven't got much time left. There's some other close battles happening, aren't there? Oh, look at this. Hainsey, Mayo and Craigio. This is very, very close here, Wilco. They're all... no, they're not in different classes, are they? Yes, they are. But Harvey...
Hainsey's a pro, yeah.
And Mayo, Nays and Craigo. This is for a podium, isn't it, in their class?
Yes, it is, yeah. So they're all fighting P8 overall, or P7, P8, P9. But, of course, yeah, Mayo and Craigo P3 in the pro class. But Hainsey, he had an up and down night. He sort of didn't do really well in quali. Got from P13 up to P6, I think he was at one stage. As Craig sneaks up the inside here. Going to be a drag race down into turn one. As it's now gone dark enough that I have to turn my lights on even though I'm not even on track, but it's alright. But yeah, Hainsey's sitting back in P7, Andrew's down in P3. So yeah, it's been a bit of a weird night for these pro boys, but at the moment Eddie's Noodles clear on top and looking to bring it home with the last 7 minutes to go.
I'll bring it home. Easier said than done. Not really blown away by Hainsey. Like you said, Wilco, he's been up and down like a yo-yo's knickers this evening. It's just been very inconsistent from Hainsey. Really expected more from him, but still, it's better to reach finishing first. You won't finish first tonight, of course, but first he must finish. But gee whiz, rewind and start again, play that tape over again. And 6.5 minutes in this one. I thought I saw a yellow flag, that's why I was distracted. The delivery wasn't ideal either. As Mark Ledwidge, I think we're all quiet listening to the Class A commentary. And is there anyone alive out there? Can anybody hear me? And remember when they come back to check on Titanic in the boats, Chuck, but they'd all frozen to death, unfortunately. Not a great ending, but this will be a happy...
They were just acting, though. They were just acting.
Yes, yes, that's for sure. But boy, that was an interesting movie, wasn't it? I think we're all quiet listening to the class commentary. I just read that comment. That's right, we haven't had many tonight. But
there goes Craig again.
And Craig, where is Craig? There is Craig, and Mayonnaise is gonna be, boy, he's gonna fall victim to the Craig machine. Because down the inside is that, oh, he's done a Max Verstappen. He's knocked off that innocent bollard there. And Max, why did you knock that off? I got sick of it. I just got sick of it and knocked it over. That's the only thing that happened to me for the race. But 5.5 minutes remaining, and Craig, boy, Chuck, does he not want a piece of mayonnaise or what? Incredible.
Oh, yeah, I definitely would. You know, it's that final
Hello,
step.
who's that? Ernie Drongo down the inside.
Oh, what a send. He's an AM driver, making a move on the Pro-Ams. You love to see it.
Well, Ernie Drongo punching above his weight here. This man definitely in line for promotion. He just come out of nowhere, and Ernie Dingo has been hit, has he? But now he is back on the circuit. What happened there, Wilco? The camera just not quite focused.
Just sort of misjudged himself there and just ran at the back of Ernie. No harm, no foul, or as you would say with your means, no foul. Go back to front.
And yes, that cut out there. So I think you were praising me up about something.
Yep, of course, definitely. Definitely, always praising you.
There we go. Praise you like us. Okay, 4.5 minutes. Thank you,
We live in a
Wilco.
very present time in Benalla too.
Yes,
Back in the time when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, Trevor Byers was buying himself a Happy Meal from McDonald's.
oh, and someone has gone off.
Oh, Mayo!
Whilst
Oh, good avoidance, boys.
and mayonnaise down the inside of Crago with 4 minutes to
That
go.
was very close.
That was closer than you can shave a stick at, because look at that. Crago now just ahead. There's some other battle. No, this is the closest battle, I think, between these two. And the timing screens are going absolutely off there. And sorry to cut across you there, Cam, talking about a Nigerian prince, talking about me living in the past, going for a walk around the block, getting a Happy Meal with dinosaurs. Yeah, it's that kind of night, isn't it? And there we go. As you can see there, yes, that's what happens when I walk around the block. You're sort of there 1 minute walking the dog, and then that's
Reminds me of that news clip of the guy that tried to demonstrate the dog attack, and he's like,
oh yes,
I'm bounding over.
How good was that? And then his wife's just sort of sitting there like, yeah, he does this every day. But as Mayo
communicate.
and yellow flag at the Dunlop curb.
It's his Andrew.
And was is los? Where is Andrew? And he's off the track. Well, this doesn't look like a man who's a Gran Turismo champion.
I think he was turning left to do the Nords. He was getting practice for the Nords, so yeah, that's what we saw.
And we won't be talking to him on the podium tonight unless by some miracle there's 16
Everyone disconnects.
16 disconnections, and he comes through. Oh, he's parking off the track, and he'll go perfectly still if we just go quiet. Now he's gone back to the pit lane. You think if he'd raced 58 minutes, he could have hung in there. But you think he could have just... No, that's okay. But Nismo, if you're out there watching, he's quit on you. And that is not good at all. But Saint Sim, who am I to talk? And who am I to judge, really, when I could live 12 lifetimes and still not be as quick as that man there? But no, that's not my job. But we're under 2 minutes. And what's happening there? Ernie Dongo and Hainsey now very close indeed. This man, can we give him a promotion? Who has that power, Wilco? Is that some sort of power that you wield in the promotional sense?
I wield many powers, and one of them is put people from a class that's not meant to be into a class above, and that power will be put into effect by 9 AM tomorrow, I reckon.
And yes, 0800...
I sent you an email.
No, that I sent you an email with the diagrams. Did you receive that? No, I don't check my emails during a race, Toto. But I think you should look at this. I'm coming up. I saw something with the rules. And there we have it. God, why did they get rid of that radio? How good was that to listen to in... Oh, Ernie Dingo has half spun. No, Michael, no. That was so not right. And you need to reinstate the lap before. And boy, that's if we'd known that was the last exciting season we'll see for another 10 years, would have really made the most of it. But And there we go, less than a minute to go. I think we're going to see Noodles get another 2 minutes here. And living up to his name, of course, of the 2-minute Noodle. But you can see he's coming around. One more lap to go, Chuck, I reckon, before the end of the race.
Yeah, this will be our final lap that we're going on to now for Noodles. So hopefully he keeps it on the track, pointing it in the right direction. And, we'll find ourselves with a 2-minute Noodles on the podium position. Or taking a win, I should say.
Let's have a look. He's going to be on the podium, of course. Spot on Nigerian Prince. And Chris Gale there letting us know all about it. A big shout out to the Universal Bus. And Rocco loves, I want to be standing here with you, talking to you. And 3, 2, 1, 0. That is game over. 30 laps gone. All Willstar, little sideways action there as well. And finishing second, bringing it home for Mercedes. Clocaine, are we impressed? Wilco, with his race tonight, he did have a lot of promise. There was a lot of hype around this man's driving in qualifying. Will he be impressed with the podium finish here?
Yeah, no, he'll be still happy. P3, is always a good night. He'll probably have a look at what went wrong in the pit stop. I think it might have been just he went too early on the brakes and too early in the pit limit and lost himself seconds there. And maybe he chose not to take tyres, or he's just just been happy to settle in for P3 as he's sort of a few seconds ahead of someone else. He does have the fastest lap, so he obviously had pace. I'm sure he's happy to take P3 tonight. But Noodles coming up to the last few corners now.
Oh, Chipper and Spawn, we'll keep an eye on that. But here comes Noodles. It's good not only for him, but for his team, which is him as well. But coming up for the last time to the Voodoo Chicane, named appropriately after our man alongside us here, the Nigerian Prince. And you can see there through the final corner, round 3 of this championship for the GT2s. For KRL is going to this man. Dominant performance from him tonight.
The leader has finished the race.
Thank you for that, Universal Boss. And here comes Willstar to see the checkered flag. He'll finish in P2 tonight. Not a bad result for him as he runs into the wall there. I think he just briefly touched that wall. Like Ricardo touched it in qualifying, I think, in Miami. Was it a touch or a graze? And I'm laughing again. And someone awesome. What do you do when...
I'm pissed off.
Did Lance really say that? Yeah, he did say that, you fucking bitch. Why don't you come up and say it to my face? And, well, you know how Lance talks. But Machin there across the line. And here comes Vibesy as well. Machin winning his class. Vibesy P2. Probably should have given that more of a mention there. I am not a drift god. Good, says Will I Am there. And Hainsey across the line. Ernie Dingo, they had a battle. Where was my commentary skills? Commentary? Camera skills.
Everyone subscribe to Trev's commentary.
Commentary. If you take a little bit of Cameron Norris, chuck it in with some commentary, and then chuck it in with some cam work, you get commentary. But there goes Andrelli across the line. My race was ruined by a puncher on my outlap. Yes, what do you do if you're 5/10 behind your teammate Yuki? You just smile, don't you, and do the Daniel Ricciardo thing. And no, don't. Oh, Jimbo there coming across the line. In a bit of mischief there, though, Jimbo. But he's going to finish P2 in his class. Nothing to sniff at there for Jimbo as he comes across the line. Jason Wilkinson.
Yeah, he's done alright. P2 in his class, which, I mean, technically it probably should be P1 because Ernie will be moving up to Pro-Am for the next race. But all the boys still seems to have the jumping in and leaving, but I'll let Voodoo sort it out. But as Little Bear across the line now to finish the race.
Here he comes across the line. Never really spoken to him. He might not like that, but that's okay. It really is something that I just do. It's like a reflex. I think it's called a stimming action. I looked it up. A little bit of autism coming in there. I actually have a condition. Anyway, hasn't been diagnosed yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. And told Mrs. B, if it starts to get harmful, take me to a specialist. But there we go. Enough about that. But our results are on your screen and my screen as well, wherever you're watching from. Noodles winning, and then Willstar and Cloquet, the big boys there, finishing. Match and Vibesy, Craig E.O. in their class, and Ernie Dingo just wiping the floor with his class. Jimbo there and Exo as well, as our drivers are starting to come in. We're going to have a chat with them very shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. As we'll get back to that on the screen at the moment. There it is, GT2 KRL season. Boy, the turnout's been absolutely terrific. Round 3 of the season tonight from the Nurburgring GP layout, as we have got a few guys coming into the post-race driver interviews. And let's just start, if you don't mind there. We don't have Noodles yet, do we? But we have got Matchin here with us, winning your class. Matchin, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey guys, how you going?
Mate, we are terrific, and you should be as well. That was, a great battle, some great battles there right throughout the 60 minutes of the race. My friend, talk us through it, and give us an insight from your perspective on that race.
Yeah, there was some good battles in there. So I got a pretty good start. I didn't really expect that. I sort of went around the outside. I expected to get swallowed up, but everyone else got caught in their own battles, and I ended up 5th after the first couple of corners. So I sort of just held it from there, and it was a pretty quiet race until the pit stops. And I think Vibesy mustn't have taken tyres, so I had a pretty good battle trying to get past him as well. It was good.
Great stuff, mate. And looking ahead to next week, Red Bull Ring, tight circuit, fairly short circuit, probably the shortest on the calendar. How do you fancy things around there next week?
Haven't had a lot of practice around there, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, it's big straights and big braking zones, so hopefully it should be some good passing in there.
Great stuff, mate. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Always tough coming out of the car straight away. But thanks for joining us, mate. We'll catch you next time around.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. That was a match in there, winning his class. We've got we've got the Noodles man with us here, winning tonight, dominating, in fact, in the end by 12 seconds
leader.
over Willstar. Championship leader. Or what about me? It isn't fair. I wasn't here. I want my share of points. No, Simon, no. I'm sorry about that, because this man took victory tonight. I speak of Noodles, 8771, the Noodles man himself. Noodles, have you got us there?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Loud and clear, mate. If there was a KTM, I think he had the quickest KTM in Germany tonight, because that was just absolutely fantastic, mate. You put on a masterclass, and let us know how you're feeling right now after taking that win tonight and the championship lead in Deutschland tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good. I mean, didn't really start the race off very well. I was lacking some pace. I think my tyre pressures were all over the place, so I struggled a lot, but I felt like the car got pretty good towards the end of the stint. And then once I pitted, the car just felt really good in that second stint. Probably because of the cooler conditions, but no, it was a good race.
And looking into next week, mate, Red Bull Ring, how are you feeling around there going into next week?
I actually haven't done any laps on Red Bull Ring on ACC. I think 1 or 2, but got to practice that out a little bit, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Great stuff, mate. You drove fantastic tonight. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
And we've just thank you to Noodles there, and
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, nickt.
And thank you. That was German for congratulations, Noodles. And there we go. So that is fantastic. And I've forgotten who else finished in the race. We've got Ernie Dronko, in fact. My goodness. No, I've got the results back now. Ernie, can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
Mate, let me tell you. Let me start off by telling you something. You might be in a different class by this time next week. In fact, by this time tomorrow, because that was absolutely fantastic, mate. Craigo, Mayonnaise, and a few others you were battling with, mate. Really punching above your weight. Talk us through your race.
The first stint was a bit tough because my tyre pressures were down at or below 26, but I adjusted them. So the second after the pit, they come up good, and I managed to, put together some pretty good laps. And if I had another 10 minutes, I think I would have got Hainsey.
Yes, it was, I think you're only, 7/10, less than a second, I think, at the end there behind Hainsey, mate. But looking at it next week, round 4 of the championship, halfway mark of the season, are you impressed by your performances so far?
They've been hit and miss, to be honest, and I've hit some people and I've missed some, so it probably makes sense. But I think tonight was a better showing. Yeah, we'll see how I go.
And
I'd like to think I could win the amateur league.
yes, I tell you what, mate, that is fantastic. Hainsey just confirming as well in the chat. Another 10 seconds, and he would have got me. I was absolutely cooked. But thank you, Ernie, for joining us. First time we've had a chat with you post-race, mate. You did a fantastic race tonight, and we'll catch you next time around at the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Great stuff. That is Ernie Dingo there. But, boy, another 10 seconds, says Hainsey. What we wouldn't give for another 10 seconds, hey? But I think that's a wrap almost.
That'll take it to 13 seconds for me.
Yep, I'm done. Okay, as big shout out for everyone joining us after the race is finished there. How good's that? We've ticked over to 20. And Maxi Naked Blade knows what I'm talking about. What a race. Well done, Jimbo. Thank you, Mr. Maxi Naked Blade, for joining us.
Is that a podium, boys?
Is that a podium? It's a podium. Did Lad say that? That's dreadful. I'm going to talk to him later. You know what? I finish 15th all the time, and I'm just going to laugh. Because that's what I do in Sky Sports and Nat, and everybody loves it. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to punch Liam Lawson in the face when I get into the paddock. Anyway, you know how it goes.
In a video game.
In a video game, yes. Okay, so that is all we've got time for. Thank you, Chuck Norris. No push-ups for you, Chuck. You just push the earth down with everything you do with gravity. But thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll catch you for GT3 tomorrow night with you and your new wheel.
Oh, yes, I'm very excited. I do love my new wheel. But yeah, no, it's been another great week, another great round for GT2s. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for GT3s.
Cannot wait for that with you and your space-aged wheel. Have you seen that thing fire up? How good is that when it's just linking up? It's just sort of space-age, sort of space alien. Space. Yeah, not that I'm there yet in my timeline, but there we have it. We're still looting like Red Dead Redemption 2. But thank you, Wilco. It's always a pleasure to have you on the stream again. Thank you for taking the time out. We'll catch you tomorrow night again.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, we'll be back tomorrow night. GT3s. Should be a good showing. I've already fixed up that formation lap issue, and I'll have protection as usual. I'll run the.
Yes,
that's the way it goes.
Cut out. Yeah, he cut out there.
Just before we cut off from Wilco, I just want to ask Wilco, is your mic Cotton Eye Joe? Because I have questions like, where did it come from and where did it go?
Yes, that's fantastic. But thank you for tinkering in my sound effects as well, Voodoo. It's always fantastic to have you in there. And I think he might have even chucked a few new sound effects in there. He's a naughty boy, isn't he? But thank you for that. Thank you, everybody out there watching. Maxi, of course, as always, Hainsey, Beaky, Maxi, and everybody else there. Don't forget to follow the channel if you're out there watching. We're on the road to 350. Got to beat Chuck Norris. Can't say that in front of him, though. But just keep that one quiet. But we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for GT3s with the Kid Buyers Racing League season number 6. Big shout out to all the OGs who have been there from day one back when we were a little concerned whether we'd have anybody racing with us. We've got huge numbers tonight, but don't forget, be kind to one another, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Eastern, GT3s KRL style. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.